Truth be told, every champion has felt it. Every president has felt it. Every king has felt it. Every lion has felt it. Every winner has felt it. Every soldier has felt it. Every victorious person has felt it. The urge to quit.
Crossroads, life's tolls, life goes. I gotta win. W my lockdown. You can't rewind.
Hey, how are you guys doing today? This is your host, Sonia, with the Remember Who You Are 222 podcast. I have my guest, Marisa, here with us today. She is actually a relationship coach, and she is part of my master's program in consciousness that I've been doing for the last year. So, Marisa, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I was rocking out at your video. I'm like, dang, girl, you're inspiring me. You're inspiring me to hit the gym.
Yeah, I feel like I need to get back to that. I'm definitely.
Oh man, you're inspiring me. Thank you for that. I'm good. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to have this convo with you.
Yeah, I'm excited too. So why don't you to basically tell our audience your story and what kind of brought you into doing what you do now, what brought you into the consciousness program in general.
Yeah. So I always start my story with a little bit of background with like my family of origin, like, you know, growing up in an Italian family. I think it's important because it kind of sets the tone for how I got to where I'm at. My parents are both immigrants of Southern Italy, so very small town, and migrated to the US, you know, for the American dream, like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And like, along with that came like a lot of expectations, a lot of, you know, stuck in survival. And, you know, the path that was laid forward for me was like what others think. Like, we have to create this life based on how people see us. What are they going to think of us? You know, and success, their definition of success is this external financial, you know, definition, which is not really in alignment with who I am today. But so so I sort of created like a checklist life because, you know, it was like, not who am I, but who do I have to be in this family, to be loved, you know, accepted in this family. And all of this is very unconscious. You know, it's this unconscious path that was laid forward for me of the good girl, what's acceptable. I have two older brothers, and their situation was a little bit different than mine. I'm the baby, I'm the daughter, and in an Italian family, the daughter has a lot of expectations to be a certain way and, you know, marry a certain type of, you know, marry into a certain situation. It's not, I ended up dating my, well, now ex-husband when we were kids. Like, I kind of, you know, he was part of that checklist. And which I didn't know, right? It's kind of very subconscious, but we started dating when he was 16 and I was 17. Our families knew each other, and it was kind of like, okay, well, you know, he fits this. He's also Italian, you know, educated, good family, safe. Didn't realize like that safety piece was like a huge piece. And so kind of fast forward, we created this beautiful life together. On the outside, it looked amazing. Like we, you know, built a house together. We had 2 children together. You know, we vacationed. We had lots of friends. You know, we were like the epitome of the couple. Like when, you know, well, I'll get to that point, but you know, we build this life, but it was not until like my mid to late 30s where I was just like, okay, like we have all these things. Like, why am I so deeply unfulfilled? You know, like, why am I so disconnected? Why is this not enough? Like, I have all the things that told me that I was going to have a happy, fulfilled life, but I just feel like so empty inside. Right. And so I knew nothing about the field of self-development, spirituality, none of that. No, I didn't even, that wasn't even on my radar at the time. I grew up in a family that was, I went to Catholic school for 12 years, so I guess you can call us Catholic, not really practicing anything, but Catholic school for 12 years, and then kind of transitioned into Christianity, but still I was starving for something, that there was something missing. And so at the tail end of my marriage, I had a dark night of the soul.
Mm.
And it was kind of like one of those dark nights where you're like on your knees kind of begging for a sign of life,
Yeah.
where you're just like, I can't do this. Like I'm so empty. I feel alone. I feel like a ghost, and I don't even know who I am. It was a full-blown identity crisis. Like, who the hell am I? How did I get here? What do I even like? Like, what makes me smile? Like, I
Right.
literally on this night was asking for just I was asking deep-rooted questions that I should have been asking previously, but I think you kind of hit a wall where you like have nowhere else to go, and you can't outrun yourself anymore, and there's no more things that you can distract from, right? It's like you can live unconsciously for so long till it starts feeling really heavy and it starts breaking you. Like, it just breaks you. And it's nothing on the outside. Like, because I know people listening might be like, well, you have 2 children and the perfect life. Like, what do you mean? Like, your kids don't fulfill that for you? And it's like, this is not an external thing, right? This is an internal process where this is a disconnected, like, I'm just completely disconnected from my soul, from my being, right? From who I am. I can't even show up to be a present mother if I don't know who that is. Like, if I'm disconnected, how can I give something I don't have?
Right.
Right. And so that kind of set the tone for a long journey of rediscovering like who I am. And I asked for ultimately, after a 19-year relationship, asked for a divorce. Like, I couldn't do it anymore. And along with that came lots of consequences, lots of fire, lots of walking through my own hell, really, lots of darkness and depression. And yeah, I had to, our situation was more than divorce. It was not just divorce. It was ancestral, generational, familial trauma that never got dealt with, that just got brushed under the rug with a happy face, just pretending everything's great. Meanwhile, drowning, right? Like,
Right.
drowning inside, and just like I couldn't do it. Like, I literally couldn't do it anymore. Yeah.
It's like lifetimes worth.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It really is. Like, it helped me really start asking questions about the women in my lineage. Like, what was going on? What are we not talking about? Where did we come from? What did we leave behind in Italy, right? What did we leave behind in southern Italy? Like, what are we not talking about? Why are the women very suppressed and very powerless and very voiceless? And you don't just like I believe you have to have an understanding of that to reclaim that part of yourself. Like, you're sort of carrying a torch, and it didn't just start with you. This trauma didn't just start with me. It wasn't just my divorce, right? This is so much bigger than that. So much bigger. And I think when you're in it, you want to blame the divorce, you want to blame your ex, you want to, be a victim, you want to stay in victim consciousness, and it's easy to be stuck there. And I certainly was stuck there for many years. Many years I found myself, in the, you did this, you did that, blaming, continually giving my power away, but never really owning and reclaiming myself and rediscovering. So that path, divorce was sort of the igniter. It was the initiator. It was that initiation that I needed. And that began my journey of walking back towards myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a hard thing to look at, like when we have to take full responsibility for ourselves.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think a lot of us don't want to. It's like we lie to ourselves for so long, and we don't want to admit to the things. Like, I completely resonate with a lot of the stuff you talk about, because my mom, she came from Korea, and it was very similar to what you talk about with the women being kind of silenced, and they're meant to like get married and
Yeah. Yeah.
so.
Walk that familial path. Yeah. But then, I had to come to like full circle with that. I had to look at the things that they suppressed, that they shoved down.
Mhm.
My great grandfather had a whole other family we didn't know about.
Oh,
He had a
wow.
son we didn't know about. And my great grandmother apparently knew about it.
Mm.
And, we're talking about a small southern town where
Yeah.
everybody knows everything. Like, this is not what people think about Italy today. Like, people
Mhm.
glamorize Italy, but the
Mhm.
South is very different. The
Mhm.
South is lots of immigrants. My if you trace back even before that, my parents speak Albanian, so they
Mhm.
actually migrated from Albania to the south of Italy, fleeing like Ottoman war, right? And
Mhm.
then settling there. So there's a lot underneath all of that, right? They had to leave their land, reconnect here.
Mhm.
Italy accepted them. But they had to create their own community, and they didn't have resources. And they were in each other's life, like they knew everything, right? And, also the pain and the suffering and the disconnection that comes
Mhm.
along with that, right? Not to say that there isn't beauty, but there is a lot of stuff that um we're not talking about, right? So I've
Mhm.
done a lot of work, and also even a lot of ceremonies with plant medicine where I've actually visually saw and somatically felt the silence that I had been carrying.
Mm.
When you see something like that, when you have this visceral experience where you see the silence and the suppression, and that you realize that that is in your body, right? That is in the cells of your body. Even though you didn't experience maybe everything that they went through, it's
Mhm.
still part of you. It's
In
still
your
part of
body.
your story. It's still part of your DNA, and then I'm somebody who's recovered or healing. I like to say I'm healing from thyroid, a low thyroid, Hashimoto's. So that's the voice, right? The thyroid is the throat chakra, the voice.
Mhm.
Part of me reclaim in order to heal that, I have to reclaim that voice and that silence, right? Speaking
Mhm.
here today was not something I would have done a long time ago. It just wasn't, right? Because I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, what are people gonna think of me? What are they gonna
Mhm.
say?" Right? Like, "Oh, they're gonna talk shit about me." And so, this here, like, speaking is my medicine.
Mhm.
This is the way that I heal that. This is what I can give back to the ancestors, those people that didn't have a voice. My
Mhm.
grandmother who had to suppress that part of her, and they couldn't divorce back then, right? They had to
Mhm.
just shut up and eat it and pretend everything was okay, right? The divorce was not an option.
Mhm.
And I'm very grateful that because I was in an unfulfilled marriage, and I'm not, I take ownership of making that choice. Because of that, I also have a choice to not stay and continue on this path. They
Mhm.
didn't have that choice, right? So I get to reclaim that. I get to reclaim that's what it means really to reclaim your power.
Mhm.
It's reclaiming those disowned parts of yourself, those disowned parts of your ancestors, and alchemizing that, right?
Mhm.
Alchemizing that within myself.
Yeah.
And that's the true healing, right? That's the there's no medicine that somebody can give me, or a
Yeah.
pill. There's no pill that someone's gonna give me that's gonna heal that part,
Yeah.
right? What's gonna heal the ancestral silence? It's just not. So it takes massive courage,
Mhm.
massive amounts of getting uncomfortable, right? Of not caring what people think or what they say or whether they support you or not. And I was not supported. I was absolutely not supported from any of my family on the way out of my marriage. In
Mhm.
fact, I was strong-armed to stay in the marriage
Right.
and, criticized and ridiculed, criticized by my family.
Mhm.
My family could not support me, and only because in their reality, a woman leaving equals unsafety, right?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
this is maybe your mom's generation, possibly. A woman who's a
Mhm.
single mother, right, of 2, what are you gonna do? You're not safe. Those children aren't safe, right? It's that fear,
That fear, yeah.
that fear. And then this was 2012.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I
guess
do
what?
feel
I'm
like
okay, and my kids are great.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, I feel like people, especially in that generation, that age, my mom and, even my son's other grandmother, it's like they look at me living by myself as a single mom as something crazy, like, oh my gosh.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Like, you're not safe, right? You need a
Yeah.
man. And I get it, that's an old script, right? It's an
Mhm.
old story, and for them, they probably did, right?
Right,
I
yeah.
mean, I've heard lots of stories. For them, single women back then was not good. It
Yeah,
was not good, and so I understand,
where it
but
comes
it's
from.
really hard, and you and I talk a lot about the nervous system. It's really hard to be able to see a different potential reality
Mhm.
when this is all we know, right? These are
Right,
the stories
yeah.
that are going on in our head, which is not even ours,
Mhm.
is, other people's unconscious, script, and
Yeah,
we're regurgitating that,
important
believing
to
it. We're
us.
believing this, right? But
Yeah.
it's like at some point you're like, "Okay, but that doesn't feel right. That doesn't add up," right? And in order to change the script, it's like you have to work with the body in order to feel safe, right? To be able to have this potential reality. Because if you don't believe it, if I believed what they said, right? If I
Mhm.
digested that, then yeah, I would probably still be stuck in victimhood or still be in an unfulfilled marriage, right? I would not have left. But there
Yeah.
was something very, very deep inside me guiding me that was like,
Mhm.
no, you're done. Like
Right.
I saw my reality. I saw the future of what it would look like if I had stayed in that marriage. And I
Mm.
would have been very bitter and resentful and angry. And I would have probably needed to my kids. I would have been codependent on my kids to fulfill
Mhm.
this emptiness within me because I wasn't willing to stand in my truth.
Mhm.
And I just couldn't do that.
Yeah.
I couldn't put that on my kids. And it was it as hard as hell as that was to walk away and to start rebuilding brick by brick, right? Not only start rebuilding, but first of all, destructing everything first
Mhm.
before you can build something new, because what I had was on quicksand.
Yeah.
You
It
have
all
to
has to be
allow it to sink, right? You have
yeah.
to allow, and that is not gonna feel good.
Oh my God. It reminds me of my divorce, and mine was way more recent than yours. But I guess, well, we all have our paths or whatever, and when things are supposed to happen, I guess. And so it was the fact that I guess mine was so devastating. It kind of put me on a faster track to kind of like, okay,
Mm,
I have to figure out the universe because
wow.
this
You had a
this is
speed, yeah.
crazy.
You had it the fast forward version. I wish I had that. I wish I had the fast forward button. That would have been great. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was 2012, and I feel
Yeah.
like a lot
2020.
this was not the conversation that we
Mhm.
were having, or at least not in my circle, right? Nobody
Yeah.
nobody was talking about any of this. And
Mhm.
so what happened the day after my dark night of the soul, which is when I realized exactly this, that I didn't have people in my reality that can support me. So the
Mhm.
day after, I had that dark night, right? And where I
Mhm.
just question everything, who I am, how did I get here? Please show me a sign of life because I don't want this. Like I just literally, it was one of those nights, right? The
Yeah.
next day I was blow drying my hair in the closet, and my soon to be ex, he was not my ex yet.
Mhm.
And our 2 kids were out of the house for the weekend. So it was one of those weekends where I was just deep processing, right? I
Mhm.
was in a deep deep process. Depressed, very, very depressed, felt very alone. Nobody had my back. So the next day was I was blow drying my hair, and I had like a divine intervention. Like there was a divine download. It's really hard to put in words because you
Mhm.
can't really put words to something like this. But I
Yeah.
had a very mundane day, right? Just blow dry my hair, not doing anything. And all of a sudden, I just felt like this energy started pouring down into me. And it was like sort of going into my body and just almost like imagine you plug in a computer and it starts downloading programs, right? And it's
Yeah,
just
that's
like,
pretty amazing from
right?
blow drying your hair.
Just yeah, I wasn't on any psychedelics, didn't even know
Yeah.
what that was back then, right? No
Yeah.
psychedelics, no nothing, no meditation, no prayer, nothing, just blow dry my hair. Everyone keeps asking me about this. It was the most mundane possible. All I can say is it followed a dark night of the soul. That's all I can
Yeah.
say. So I was
Oh,
open, right? I was
yeah.
open. I was on my knees. I was
Receiving mode.
asking, right?
Yeah.
I was asking. I was please give me. I did this the night before. You
Yeah.
couldn't even replicate this if you wanted to, because believe me, I've tried. And
Oh, I
so
just
that
got chills.
yeah, I wish I could replicate this. So the next day is I have this energy pouring into me, and I was like, what the hell's going on? And I shut off my blow dryer, and I was all I can I was taken back, right? I was just taken back because I was like, what is happening? And I just said, like, God, is this you? Like, is this you? And I didn't hear anything. It was a very telepathic download. And what I saw visuals. I saw images of these 5 people that kind of encircled each other, just faces. And then I saw like it sort of started happening in snapshots, right? It was almost like a waking dream. And then I saw like myself standing up surrounded by lots of children, speaking to children. And then I heard an intuitive voice that said, "You cannot do what I need you to do if you continue to carry what isn't yours."
Mm.
And I those words are tattooed in my mind. Like, this is 2012, December 6th, 2012, and I will never forget. And I was just like, wow. And I was like, what does this mean? Right. Like, it wasn't like you need to do this, and it wasn't like instructional. And I also felt something lifting from me, almost like it was taking something away. And it was like, this isn't yours,
Mm.
and
Love
what I
that
felt
energy.
like was guilt and shame for wanting out of a marriage. And it
Yeah.
was sort of like taking it out, like almost like a hand coming in, pulling it out and saying, like, these don't come from God. Like, it didn't
Oh,
say the word God. It didn't say any
yeah.
label. I don't want to label this because I
Yeah.
think it's so
It's
much larger than any label we can put on. But
right.
it just said these are human emotions that you give to yourself. It does not come from a higher power, and it's not serving
Mm.
you. It's not serving where you want to go and what you want to do.
Mhm.
And so it took me years to like I was just like, what the hell happened? Like,
Yeah.
what the hell was that? And I thought it was like a literal logical I like face value, right? But
Mm.
just like our dreams, and you and we love discussing dreams through our
Mhm.
course that we're taking. It's it wasn't a literal message. It was a very archetypal, symbolic message that took me years and still it
Mm.
still unlayers. It took me
Okay.
5 years to realize it was not about those 5 people. I thought I had to do something with these people. Am I supposed to work with them, do something with them? And
Mm.
I try to chase it, right? I try to
Mhm.
go to them, be like, "Oh my God, this thing happened. I don't know if we're supposed to do something." And it was just like every door got shut in my face, right?
Yeah.
And then I was just like, it was not, I was actually at a Tony Robbins event 5 years later, like, I don't know, 9,000 people.
Yeah.
And then it came to me. It was like, oh my God, it's not about those people. It's about what they represented to me in my life. It was
Mm.
sort of a roadmap. In what I believe is I was shown a road to alchemy
Mhm.
to for those people listening that love, energy work. I believe it might be like connected to the philosopher's stone. And it was 5, like the number 5 is very alchemical. The first letter in their name spelled the word saved. So I call this roadmap 5 Seeds of Harmony, and that's that what I call my podcast, 5 Seeds of Harmony, because these 5 seeds are what I have been embodying since 2012, and I still continue. I'm not there is no finish line to this. I
Yeah.
continually uncover and embody and alchemize and integrate that message. And this is 14 years ago. And I believe that message was for me. It was for me to reharmonize myself, but it's also for everyone. Like this is, and I will at some point share and write about this and share a little bit about it. But I believe that I need to really fully integrate before I feel like I'm close. I'm starting to actually write a memoir, and I feel like that's kind of like the next layer that's coming, is I'm ready to start integrating some of this.
Yeah.
Or actually putting it out in the world, not integrating, but yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like,
yeah.
Up there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty wild.
Yeah, it's a journey, and that's crazy. So I love hearing people's stories because I definitely had an experience where it was like a divine intervention type of thing. And it didn't involve any plant medicine. At the time, it was just basically it was breath work, my mantra, and it was like 3 times a day. And where it was like in the morning time, I did 3 deep breaths. I would say this mantra and then lay down and kind of get in this meditative state. And then in the afternoon, I do my movement mantra. And then at night, I do another 3 deep breaths, a mantra, and lay down and get in another meditative state. And that in itself had like this energy shooting through all the cells of my body. I could feel like I put myself in a natural euphoric state. And I had never felt this before in my life.
Wow.
And it was like I felt that unconditional. I was like in the light for a little bit, and I felt the unconditional love of, I call it source, I guess, because you can't call it. I feel like to me, God sounds so small to what it actually.
Yeah, and there's a lot of charge around that for people,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, religious trauma.
Yeah.
I definitely had a lot of religious trauma. So
yeah, that's amazing. I believe that we all get what we need, and there's no one route to getting there. Like, I believe there's lots of different ways to get to the same destination. I think for me, because I was so stuck in this delusion and just, like pain and suffering, that this is what I needed to like snap out of it. Right. Because I felt so alone, right? Even though I have this connection to, I always had this relationship with God, source energy. Like I called it God then because that's what the language I have, right? It doesn't matter. But I always have that, but there was so much trauma like carried that it was hard to like maintain that connection. And so I think in divorce, like my divorce was not your ordinary divorce. There was so many layers of trauma. Like we went back and forth to court. He battled me for my son. He wanted to have my son living with him. He was 14 at the time. There was a lot of trauma that we projected onto each other. We projected a lot of our stuff onto each other. We had a very karmic attachment. And it was actually not until last year that that karmic relationship ended. So you're talking years, right? Even years after divorce, you can still be karmically attached to this person. And we were karmically bonded. And I saw that through that painful exchange, he came here to wake me up to my power. In a family that has suppressed, silent, powerless women, what would you need to wake up to your power,
Mhm.
right? Somebody has to say, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll wake her up, right? But that's not going to look pretty.
Yeah.
That's going to be the most excruciating, gut-wrenching thing you ever walk through, right? And nobody
Right.
can carry that cross for you. Nobody. You're
Mhm.
carrying that cross yourself. And so he signed up to say, yes, I'll do it.
Right.
Right. In the spirit realm, he's my greatest teacher, one of my greatest teachers. On here, earth, he
Oh,
is
yeah,
not
yeah.
so fun. Not so fun. Yeah, I mean,
I can say
I
the
could
same
come
about
to
my
his
ex-husband. Well, we're actually still going through court stuff right now.
yeah. Uh,
But luckily, the karmic bond you said, I was still having that some last year, but there was things that I was getting woken up to, and I was like, oh, okay, so this is what I need to do to like untether the energetic bond.
yeah. Yeah. You at least have awareness around it, right?
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
you've put yourself in a place of trying to have clarity and understanding and awareness. I had none of that. And nor did
yeah,
I
yeah.
also wasn't surrounded. So the day after that dark night, or on that dark night,
Mhm.
I was like, who do I have in my reality
Mhm.
that that is a model for me? Like,
Mhm.
are there any women that are like a roadmap for me, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
a mentor who could be who's a mentor.
Right.
And I did an environmental scan. I'm like, there's not one
I do feel
woman.
like back then was a lot harder to, yeah, find.
Yeah, because there was not a lot of social media. I mean, I was
Mhm.
barely getting into social media in 2012.
Mhm.
I kind of resisted it at first. So I didn't really have that. But so what
Mhm.
I said, I was like, okay, I don't have mentors or models, and that's okay. I
Yeah.
will seek them out digitally. The
Mhm.
I will seek I'll seek out a digital family,
Mhm.
and that can help change the conversation. It's like the nervous system work, right?
Yeah.
You have to
Mhm.
reprogram your
Yeah.
mind, and you have to have a new conversation, new language,
Yeah.
new energy. So what I started doing is I was going online, and I was listening to people like Wayne Dyer or Jim Rohn or Tony
Yeah.
Robbins or Marianne Williamson, like all these people, right?
Mhm.
And just listening to their YouTubes.
Mhm.
I wasn't really listening to podcasts back then, but YouTubes, lots of YouTubes, books.
Mhm.
I never was an avid reader. I started devouring books. Actually, the first book. So the funny thing is, on that dark night, I
Mhm.
typed in the words, "How did I get here?" Like
Mm.
Google was going to tell me how the hell I got here.
Right.
But
How
the
did I get
funny thing is this is so crazy how the universe works. A
Right.
book by Barbara DeAngelis popped up, and the book's called How Did I Get Here? And I was like, I don't even know who the hell Barbara DeAngelis is.
Yeah.
And I
Let me
ordered this.
buy this
I'm like,
book.
I need this book because it spoke to me, right?
Mhm.
And this book, I devoured it. I was just like, oh my God, like there was like a frequency in that book,
In
in
that
the way
book.
she was talking, that I had never heard before. I had
Mm.
never heard anyone talking
Talk like
like
that.
that before. And it was sort of like this mother energy that I needed, right? Like this
Mm.
inspiration, this like, you're not crazy.
That divine mother energy
Yeah.
that we didn't get growing up with.
That we didn't get the like, hey, how are you? Like, it's gonna be okay. Like, you're gonna be okay, right?
Yeah.
I didn't have that. It was doom and gloom, and like, you're gonna die on your own. So it was this mother energy that I had it, and I devoured that book, and it was kind of like the door opened for like, okay, I need to listen to how these people talk.
Mhm.
What are they talking about? What are they focusing on? What are they listening to? What are they putting out there? And I would listen to stuff as I was doing my hair, putting my makeup on in the car. I would just literally be reprogramming my minds, reprogramming, and just learning how to change the conversation and the frequency. I mean,
Mhm.
that's taken a long time because at that point, I was in my late 30s, right? I
Mhm.
was like 37.
Yeah. It
And
takes time to program your mind, your body.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, it takes time, but it is possible. Like for those people
yeah.
that are like, well, for the people that are like, I don't have money, or I don't know, I don't have a community of people, or there's no one in my life. Yeah, I get that. I didn't either. I had to make those people my digital family until I could change my energy and then start attracting new people in, right? The people in my reality were the ones that got me to where I was. They're not the ones that are going to get me to where I want to go. They got me so far, and it's not
Yeah.
about blaming or shaming anybody, right?
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's not about I'm better than anyone or anyone's better.
Yeah.
It's not about that. It's about I want to kind of go here, and who's going to get me to this destination? Who's going to help me? And not in this needy way, but in a way that we got to change the environment. We are our environment, right? We are that. We are the people we hang out with. We are the conversations we have. We are what we listen to and focus on. So that environment is either going to grow you or it's going to stunt your growth. And if that environment is one of guilt, of victimhood, of blame, if your conversation is they do this and they do that, she does this, he does that, you're stuck in victim consciousness. And that is only going to get you more of that. It's going to give you more of it, right? You're going to attract that like a magnet, and you're going to create more of these situations. This is why I went. So I used to coach divorced moms, and it's a really hard community to coach in because there's been horrendous things done to women, right? I'm not discounting that. I've had horrendous things done to me. There's been lots of unconscious behavior, lots of projecting, right? But at the same time, and I don't discount any of that. That's real. It's a real thing. It's happening. At the same time, you also have, you want to get out of that, right? You want to get out of that pain story. But if you keep regurgitating this, if you keep talking about it, if you keep feeding it, it's not going to die, right? If you keep staying in this, he did this or that. Yeah, they did that.
Right.
But I'm going to reclaim that. I'm going to take ownership, and I'm going to, right? I'm going to heal and move forward from this story.
Yeah.
And that's not going to be, my divorce is not what defines me. That stuff is not what defines me. It's not what defines us, right? And yeah.
I definitely believe in like expressing what happened to us, but like you said, not staying in it. Like we can express it, I feel like in a safe space, but then it took me like a whole year to realize that the more I kept talking about what he was doing to me, he kept doing worse and worse things.
Right.
Then I finally kind of like woke up to it. It was that really after my awakening. After that, I had January of last year, I had that big awakening where I was like on a spiritual high for a couple months. And so I saw everything from a higher perspective. And so I was actually able to see that karmic, like, oh, he was actually here to teach me.
I love it.
This. So
I love it.
That was when I was able to stop even talking about him or thinking about him and focus on what my mission was now.
Exactly.
So, but there was a couple times where, since I've had to co-parent and we've been going to court, there was a couple times where it kind of brought me back down, but I could feel it in my body even when it brought me back down, and I could feel like the heaviness. And I was like, oh, I'm talking about what he did again. And that it would only be like a couple weeks at a time, and I'd get myself back out.
That's interesting.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's interesting. We stay stuck and this is the reason I don't specifically only coach divorce. I don't like only coach divorced women because I think it's a disservice to have that label and that container and only stay in that conversation, because I think there's so much more than you're a divorced mom, right? There's so much more than that. And I think putting that in a box is not, it stunts our growth. And so this is why I've transitioned into, and I actually originally started out with relationship coaching originally. So I've been coaching since 2017. But I felt called to that, but that's because that's where I was on my journey. And that I still feel passionate about helping women that have gone through divorce, but that's not the only conversation I want to have, right? I don't want to keep them there. I want to move into, and I want them to know that a healthy relationship is possible with themselves first. Like the
Right.
real relationship is with yourself.
With
It's not
yourself.
with someone else. When I
Mhm.
started doing the work to heal myself, I invited in a new relationship. I've been with my now husband. We've been together for 12 years.
Mhm.
And we have a child who's about to turn 10.
Mhm.
And so that was a lot of work, right? I had to get rid of that checklist,
Mhm.
and this is the acceptable checklist, right? And get into my heart.
Right. Like, what do
And
you actually want in a person?
right. And I didn't care about the checklist. I threw
Mhm.
that thing in the fire, right? Like it was about, does this person have a beautiful soul? And in order to connect to that, I have to see my own.
Yeah.
Like I have to see my own first before I could see that in somebody else. And so that's the real work. The real work is, how do I have a healthy relationship with myself first?
Myself. Yeah.
Because you can't give something you don't have, right?
Right.
You can't give it. And that's what I've come to realize.
Yeah, that's definitely what I've come to realize, and what I teach too is basically like having a secure relationship with yourself.
Exactly.
Because a lot of us grew up with anxious or avoidant attachment styles just because of because of the love that we didn't get, and our nervous system responded in the way that it's meant to keep us safe.
Oh yeah. I mean, my relationship with my husband now would trigger the living daylights out of me in the beginning. I mean, think about it.
Uh-huh.
I just came out of a really horrific situation. And I also didn't feel safe to
Mhm.
be I didn't feel safe by men. And
Yeah.
that stemmed back a long time. Through childhood, not feeling
Mhm.
safe by protected, right?
Mhm.
Emotionally,
Yeah.
not physically, but emotionally seen and protected by the masculine. And this isn't to call
Yeah.
anybody out.
Yeah.
This is a universal feeling amongst most women, and
People, yeah.
probably all the women that I coach. I'd venture to say a lot of that safety piece stems from that, right? So now you have to, in a new relationship, I'm having to rebuild that, right? I'm having to
Mhm.
rebuild that trust. And there's still that little girl inside.
Mhm.
It's you're not only having a relationship with the adult version, but you're having a relationship with each other's inner child,
Inner
right? And
child,
so
yeah.
something happens, something triggers you, and you're just like, oh shit, like why did I just get triggered? Right. And
Yeah.
it's never about that person, it's never face value. It's usually something deeper, right?
Yeah,
Like,
deeper.
oh, when you
Gabber,
did that, like, I didn't feel safe, right? You
yeah.
and we've learned a lot about nonviolent communication in our courses, and I
Mhm.
to me, that's such medicine. It's
Yeah,
so empowering to be able to talk that way and be like, "Why did I get triggered? Like, what was the need underneath the trigger?" Not
right.
like, "Why did you do this?" and get in a fight, right? This
Yeah,
reactivity.
yeah,
That doesn't solve anything. But what was the need underneath that? What did that little girl, what was she needing that she didn't get? Or
yeah.
maybe she didn't feel respected. Maybe she didn't feel safe.
Mhm.
I don't think that ever ends in relationship. I think you learn how to communicate that. Like,
Yeah, I do think you learn how to communicate it, and what I've realized is I've been able to, catch it and reassure myself instead of getting that reassurance outside of me. Like, because my issue a lot was, I always had anxious attachment, so
mhm.
if
Yeah.
somebody isn't texting me or calling me, I'm thinking something is wrong with me or
Yep.
something. And
That was
so
me.
I've had to really reassure myself, like, this doesn't mean anything about your worth. Like, this is where they're at. So, there's somebody, well, I'm still in the dating process. And so,
It's a fun place to be because you really get to learn about yourself. Like, when
yeah.
I started dating after divorce, I'm like, this is really cool. Like, I had friends that are like, oh, dating is such a shit show. And I'm like, really? I'm like, well, that's because that's the energy you're bringing. But I'm
Mhm.
actually excited. First of all, I
Yeah.
can connect with anybody and I love getting to know people and I have no expectation. But I think
Yeah.
it's really cool for you to get to know dating is about getting to know
Getting to
yourself,
know
not
yourself.
other
And that's
people,
what I've
really.
been doing over the
Yeah.
last year. I would say over the last year, I've been dating with intention. basically, like to get to know myself and my triggers. And I'd see different types of people that I was attracting, and like, it is interesting once you're more like consciously dating, I guess.
Yeah, conscious dating. Oh, I love it. That needs to be a podcast right there in itself. Conscious
Right.
dating. I think there's a desperate need for that.
Yeah.
Conscious
Yeah,
dating.
for real.
Yeah, I love it. I think there's a lot to learn because I think we're in a very sad place for a lot of people. Like a lot of people, just everything going on in the world, people don't feel safe, right?
Mhm.
And so they shut down or they close their heart and they're not allowing themselves to fully be seen. And especially hiding behind cell phones and texting and expectations and what do they mean by that? It's like we forgot how to just have conversations, right?
Yeah.
And that's
One
scary.
thing I realized too was that this was just in my dating process. I had a realization, like we put a romantic relationship on a pedestal. Like it's so much harder to find. But when we have friends, we're able to just like have fun when we're together, stay unattached, and just be cool. So it's like, okay, why can't I do that with a relationship? It's because of how I was viewing it. So I kind of just changed my mindset on that. Like, okay, well, like whatever happens, happens. And it doesn't, no attachment.
Yeah, not having that expectation, but other than enjoyment, right? Like when I would go on dates, I would just be like, just have fun. Like, just have fun. That's enough. Like,
Exactly.
just have fun and like be open to getting to know somebody else. Right? Without they did this, they did that, they didn't. It's like we have like all these constrictions and rules and like, oh my God, like, can we just
Then
be?
it blocks us from getting the love we could get.
Yeah. And people have like this thing in like a checklist of what they think somebody should look like. And honestly, if I still had that, I would have missed my husband. Like I would have missed him. I wouldn't even have seen him, and it's funny because we actually met on Match.
So what was your checklist? Like, well, I guess you got rid of a checklist, but did you have, you had like qualities, the heart.
Well, the new checklist, not checklist, but the new checklist. So the new one was all I cared about is this person had a good spirit. That's it. That's it.
Okay.
And for some reason, you can feel that, right? A checklist, when you are like, I just want them to have good spirit. It's what do you feel, right? You don't give a shit about what they do, how much they make, what
how tall they are,
what their background, how tall, their family, blah, 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 how much money they have in a bank, what car they drive,
what do
what
they do?
Clothes they wear, who gives a crap. I didn't care about any of that because I had all of that. And none of that mattered. None of it mattered. It was so empty, so empty. And so I didn't care. I didn't care about the history, where you came from, I didn't care. I cared about do you have a good heart? That's it. That's it. And I continue throughout this 12 years to focus on exactly that. And I never realized that I could just continue to love someone more and more and more. People like go through these honeymoon phases when they're first dating and together, and then that kind of starts fading off. And now it's like, this sort of tit for tat kind of thing. No, in my relationship, I just continue to expand. And why? Because he allows me to feel safe. And I love who I am through his eyes. Like I love who he reflects. He reflects back the real me, right? The highest version of me that I couldn't see in the beginning. In the beginning, I felt really uncomfortable. It's like somebody looking at you constantly naked. And you're just like, oh, I don't know what you see, or what are you looking at? Like, I'm not comfortable with all these confidence. And like, slow down. Like, I'm not comfortable with this. Right.
But we weren't used to that. So we're like, wait, is this real? Like our bodies.
No, I wasn't used to that. And I always hoped, I'm like, God, I hope that I can see what he sees. Like, I hope one day that I can see what he sees. And I continue to like hold on to that. Like one day I'm going to see what he sees as he continually reflects back me. As he continually holds that reflection, I'm going to see what he sees. And I'm going to continue to hold his highest version through my vision, through my eyes. And so when he looks at me, he's only going to see his highest self. and we mirror that for each other, right? We continually mirror that. It's not about, and I got certified for coaching through Tony Robbins, and it's people go into relationships to get something.
Right.
They're always getting something, but not realizing relationship. Right. They want to get something, right? But relationships are where you go to give, not get.
Yeah.
And so I continually try to give and not just what can I get, right? It's almost like parasitic.
Yeah.
These relationships are parasitic of what can you do for me? What can you give me? Right. But when you have that energy, don't be surprised what you get.
Right.
It's a transaction, not a relationship.
Exactly.
Right. It's a contract.
Yeah. My ex used to, it's like he used to do things for me to get something in return. And then it would never be good enough. But I realized that came from my mom. And not even to blame or shame her.
Yeah.
That was just the pattern I realized. I was like, oh.
You have a very, you're so self-aware of all that, which is so amazing because you catch it quickly, right?
Yeah, I have. This has only been since my awakening, January of last year. So
that's amazing.
But before that, I was unconscious. I was unconsciously living, but I definitely got hit with a sledgehammer because it was literally that relationship with my son's father. And I was in a toxic command at the time. There was this guy, this had never happened in my career. Like I had been looked at like I had been praised because of how, like in shape I was and how I kept pushing myself. And I was just like, I was always right there with the Marines trying to be a good leader. But it was just, this command was a guy that was just coming after me. He ended up getting me in trouble with like the command. It was crazy. And so it was literally that all together that kind of was just like, okay, so what the hell?
Recipe. Well, for those of you listening, Sonia's going to be on my podcast, 5 Seeds of Harmony, and we're going to share I want to hear all the juicy stuff because that's what I'm interested in. Like,
oh yeah, for real.
And all that stuff you went through was a catalyst, right? It's what you needed. Like,
I'm thankful for it now. Yeah. Now that I look back at it, I'm like, that was literally the catalyst of where I'm at today. I wouldn't have been so determined. I don't even know if I would have had that same type of awakening. It was just so big. And I'll have to talk about it on your podcast, but
the first part of alchemy is the blackening, right? The darkness, the burning, right? This is for me, the dark night, right? That like burning, throwing into the fire, just everything, right? The identity of who I was, all these things like that had to go. That version of who I was before that doesn't exist anymore. That girl, yes, she will always be a part of me, but that persona was a life lived for my family, the acceptable version. Right. And that version doesn't exist, right? And now it's like this shedding, this unlayering, constant unlayering of getting to the center, the core of who I am, which is none of those things, right? Like just being naked in who I am. And that's why it's really hard for me to talk about labels. Like I'm this, I'm a coach, I'm a mom, like this and that, because we're so much more than these roles we play, right? Like there's so much more there than putting ourselves in this box of this is who I am. Yeah. Right. Because then that's all you see
is keeping us in that box, whatever that box, even if we keep going higher or bigger and bigger, it's still a box.
Yeah. I've had friendships where like the minute I step out of that box, it's like, oh, well, you didn't ever do that. Or like, why are you doing that? That's not who you are. It's like, no, like you are limiting me.
Yeah.
If you only see me inside this box that makes you comfortable, then you're limiting all the other possibilities of what I can be. And I don't want to limit myself, nor do I want to be in relation with people that keep me limited. Right.
Yeah.
So that was also part of the process, is walking away from friendships that were not, I hate to say not serving me because it sounds selfish, but it's relationships that are stunting my growth. If you if I could only show up for you in that way and that's the only thing acceptable, then I have to walk away because I am not only that. And I don't want to see myself through the eyes of just that. This limit that you put over my head. And if you can't allow space for me to expand beyond that, then
Right.
we're not celebrating each other. We're not celebrating all the other things that we can be. We're not playing in different potential realities. We're not
Right.
playing in different fields. And that's what we should do, right? Maybe tomorrow I want to try on a different outfit and that's okay. Right? Like, who
Yeah.
cares? Like, why not? Like, why not try a different hat and a different experience? And if we can't celebrate and support, then we don't have anything.
Right. No, I completely agree. And I don't think it's selfish. So we've just been conditioned to be so like over giving that it sounds selfish to do that, but it shouldn't be that way. Like we should be able to, to grow. We should be able to grow. Like that's really what you're trying to do is grow. And if people are wanting to keep you small, then I completely agree with you because I've had to leave friendships too.
Yeah. And that's okay. It has nothing to do with not loving these people, but being okay with that.
Love
Being
them for
okay.
where they're at and from afar.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's where they're at, I've had to accept that there's nothing wrong with that. And I've had to accept that on the path that I'm on, that it's okay to let people go. Like it's okay to not hold on. It doesn't mean they weren't part of my story. Doesn't mean I don't love them or appreciate them or wish them well, but like there is no grasping onto people and dragging them with you to where you want to go. They're either on your path or not, and that's okay. That's a realization that I've had to come to being okay with. Like some people aren't going to be on that path, and it hurts because they're people that you care about and you love. And but
it's like you gotta go through the stages of grief through each of those.
Lots of death processes. We're constantly dying. We're constantly dying.
Okay, well, I know we're coming up on an hour, so but it was so interesting hearing your story on here. I know we've talked a lot, but I definitely am grateful that you came onto my podcast today. And
Thank you.
How can people reach you if they want to reach you and maybe get some coaching?
Well, thanks for having me. It's been awesome. I love this convo. They can go on. I have a podcast too, 5 Seeds of Harmony. It's just the number 5 Seeds of Harmony. And then also my website is 5seedsofharmony.com. Instagram, everything is 5 Seeds of Harmony. It's literally, very, very easy to find me all over the place. If they go to anyone that wants previous content, for like the divorce coaching, it was under my old last name, which is Lupo. So it's Marisa, Lupo. So I have lots of divorce content for people that want to see any of that. I'm also an author in a book, and it's called Owning Your Choices. So they can find that on Amazon. So lots of ways to see my story or connect. Yeah.
I love that. And then I usually ask one closing question to everyone. And that's basically if you could say you found one truth about our divinity, what would that truth be?
That we are that. We are that. We are the divine.
We are.
Yeah, we are that. We are it.
I love that.
Yeah. Very simple. Very simple. We complicate it. We try to look externally for something that we are. There, it is not outside.
It's part of us. It's what breathes our lungs and beats our heart.
It moves through us, through our breath, through all of it, through our heart.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right, great. Well, it was great having you today. And I guess we will end it on that note.
Thank you.
You
Thank
guys have a
you.
great rest of your day.
All right. Thank you.